Something that you guys might be interested in is what is on my iPad Pro. What apps do I use? It sort of changes year by year, and as a graphic designer, apps for productivity and design are huge. We know that the iPad is more powerful now than ever, so in this video I'm going to show you all the apps that I use, how it helps me on my day-to-day life when it comes to the agency work, when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to lettering and everything else. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. There's some amazing and some strange apps that I use in this, so stick around. Hope you enjoy it, and without further ado, here is the iPad. So here's my iPad Pro. This is the newest M1 iPad Pro with I don't know how much storage, but it's got enough storage in it and it's up to date with all the new apps. Now I use my iPad Pro for a lot of things, and the first thing I use it for is note taking. So this is Notability, and this is just like a random document. I can't pull you up any real documents, but the great thing about Notability is the fact that you've got so many different ways of taking notes. You've got templates, and just writing is a joy inside of this. If you're someone like me who's avid in taking notes for anything, where it's client projects, this is great for you. And the great thing about writing on this app is when I've done that, I can go ahead and sort of select this. If I tap, it will actually allow me to convert this into text. Right on here is easy, and it even knows that it's block capitals. So if I need to take something out of my notes and bring it into my computer, written up, it generally is easier. You just have to do this. You just select it. I also like the quick lines, so you can hold down and it'll give you shapes like this, which makes it super easy if you're wanting to do diagrams of anything, flow charts, anything like that. One of my favorite features of Notability is the highlighting. You can highlight pretty easily inside of this app as well. So for instance, I can take this and make it so when we highlight, it's a straight line. So I just have to do this, hold it down, and it'll be a straight line. I can highlight like this. Everything can be done easily. You can change the size of things as well just by clicking and dragging like so. Change the composition, makes writing that next level for you. The other app I use is GoodNotes, and this is like the competitor to Notability. Now the great thing about GoodNotes is that I can just go ahead and put in a notebook. We can go ahead and create this, ruled paper narrow, and it works just the same. There's a few differences inside of it that you should be aware of, such as when you want to do shapes, you can just go into the shape function and you can quickly draw whatever you want. But it works very similar to Notability, apart from you can get tabs as well. So I can put tabs over on the top here and start taking notes from different places. There's probably a few other differences, but in reality, there's no real need to go through them. It takes notes, it's really easy, it's paperless, feels like paper, especially when you get the right screen protector. I've got the Paperlike here, and it just works super nicely. The next app I have is Notion. Now in our job, in our business and the agency, we have YouTube stuff here. We have client work stuff, and this is our main dashboard for work that we've got. And this is where me and the team go through all the different things that we need to do within work. It's like our hub. It's where all the information is, and it's great that it's on the iPad, because even when I'm just on my phone or at home and I haven't got my laptop around and I just want to have it there in front of me to see everything that's going on, I can. And you've got full functionality within here. So you can see on the left, I've got my work dashboard, YouTube video databases, these are my favorites, the Mindscape app, video tick list. So we've got all the stuff for the videos, who's doing what in the work. We've got stuff like company home, where we've got all the information about company for people who work with us. It's free for anyone else, but we've got the team app in here. So if you're a designer, very good to have, especially when you work in teams where you need to keep track of what everyone's doing, or have a really decent CMS, a content management system for everything else. Obviously, the next app is going to be not a productive one, but a main one, which is Procreate. You know me, I've been using Procreate for years. I was one of the early adopters. In fact, I was using Procreate even before the Apple Pencil came out with the iPad Pro. I used it with this crazy stylus called the Adobe Ink and Slide. Well, Procreate is still one of the best drawing apps on the iPad. It's super smooth. They've added new features for 3D recently as well, which is really nice. There's so many brushes, there's so many things you can do with it in this app. It is unreal. I use it for lettering, for sketching logos, quite literally anything that I need to do for drawing. It feels so nice. You can do things inside of this app that you could never do on paper as well. Or you could use it just like paper, such as this hand lettering piece that I'm working on right here. One of the great things about Procreate is the fact that you've got time-lapse replays. So I can like replay this, and this is a time-lapse of me creating a hand lettering piece. Why would you want this? Well, it's great to show the clients. You don't have to do anything. You just have to start drawing and it'll do it for you, and you can export this. So it's great to show the client how you've actually drawn your hand lettering piece, or how your process went. It's also just really interesting to see what you did and how you did it, and to show other people. It's just a really nice feature. You can see here, I can scrub along here in this composition. I go over it again. You can see here, I've got another one. For some reason, I've started another one at the same time in the same document. Not too sure why, but again, it's a great app. You can make your own brushes. They've got their own brush studio now, which makes life a lot easier. I've got a bunch of brushes on my website for Procreate. You might not see loads of content anymore about it. That's just because I focus more on the graphic design space rather than lettering. But if you check out my Instagram, you'll see me every now and then posting hand lettering such as this on there. If you want to know more about hand lettering, I can start doing more videos for you. They're pretty cool to make and I enjoy them. The next app I use, which is not a design one again, but it is called Things. Things 3 is a great app, and I can't show you everything that's going on here on the app, but basically it's connected to my iPhone, my Macs, my iPad. It's my great big to-do list. It allows me to create different places down here, such as, clients, shows stuff for the office. I could do this in Notion, but this is like my personal to-do list where I can like log things completed, where I can set tasks for days ahead, and then every day I could just go into the sort of today tab, and you can see here, review candidate skill test, hero logos for a client, film Discord design memes, feedback on this client, such as this, and this will just appear. So creating a to-do, really easy. You just write whatever you want, and you can move it to different days. You can move it to different projects. So every week, what I do on a Monday is I go ahead, get my iPad out, or my computer, most likely my computer or my phone, and I'll start creating my to-do list for the week, create upcoming to-dos that I need to do. Then I'll log all the other to-dos that I've done. I just want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you know me, my website is a Squarespace website, and it is the best way to create a website if you're a designer that does not know how to code. I can do anything when it comes to designing, visually, but I can't code because it's like another language. Squarespace lets you do all the designing, fully customizing templates that are fully rich featured without knowing any code. If you'd like to know more about Squarespace and get your own website, then click the link down below, 20% off. I use Squarespace for all my websites. You'll have heard about them, so go and give them a try. A little tip as well, if you go ahead and sign up using the link below, you can create your website for free, and then when you want it to be published so people can see it and go onto it for your client work or for your online store, that's when you sell, and you get 20% off. So that's when you buy, only when you publish it. So go and make your website today. The next app I use infrequently is Adobe Fresco. There's not much to say about this, but obviously we've got a pretty big update here, so that might change. But Fresco is a great way of designing anything. I use it for logos, I use it for hand lettering sometimes. It really depends on what I'm doing. But as you can see here, I can open this up. I've got a hand glove. This is like more for a font. Every time you see me write hand glove, it's because I'm designing a font. This is the best word I've got to have a general feel of the different types. But what I love about Fresco is the rulers. These are probably the best things about the app. I can use rulers as guides. It feels a bit more natural than not using rulers. So I like to do this to create them, and it creates perfect lines, great for lettering, great for when you need to be extra precise, especially when you're creating fonts or logos. I've got Photoshop on the iPad, but I don't really use it on here. It's more just here in case I ever need to use it. Obviously, Adobe are great. They've got a lot of apps, but sometimes I just prefer to use my desktop version. An Adobe app that I do use quite often though is Adobe Illustrator on the iPad. This is because it is actually unreal. I can take any document from my desktop, put it on my iPad. This is what I've wanted for such a long time. This is like my new brand, working on it here, or one of the documents, and this is literally taken from the cloud, so Adobe Creative Cloud, from my desktop. I've not done anything on my iPad here, but I can start designing, doing whatever I need to do over on my iPad, and there's no lag. It's great. It's really smooth, works super well. Granted, it doesn't have all the features that it would do on the desktop. It is still a great app. You've got the pen tool, you've got the drawing tool. You can quite literally design anything that you want in here. In fact, the other day I created a video talking all about this loop. We created this whole thing inside of Adobe Illustrator on the iPad. Super clean, minimal logo, easy to do. We drew it inside of Procreate, brought it in, vectorized it inside of Adobe Illustrator. I've just realized we've got so many apps to go through. I'm so sorry. You can tell I use a lot of apps. I don't use Affinity Designer. I've never really needed to. I've used everything else. And the reason why is because I've got Procreate. I don't use it. That would be the easiest way to explain it. But something I do use often is Vectornator. Vectornator, again, you've seen videos, they sponsor the channel a lot, but I use this for general design purposes. You can see here, it's an infographics tutorial that I did. It's made for the iPad. It's free. You can get it on your phone, your iPad, your Mac, absolutely everything. It's on there, and it's a fully fledged vector design software. So for you, it's amazing. The final app I'm going to talk to you about today, one that I use more so than any of these when it comes to productivity, is Spark Email. Now, I cannot show you Spark Email on here because then I will be showing you my emails. But you can trust me, it's a great app. But for me as a team with Naomi and John and everyone else, if I have an email, I can assign it to Naomi. We can see each other's emails that we need to share with each other. We can comment on them. We can set templates up for each other. It's an amazing email client, and I use that a lot. So those are the apps that I use on the iPad Pro on basically a daily basis, whether it is on the iPad, my phone, or my iMac. I'll do my best to link them all down below in the description if you want to use some of these apps. They're all really good. Some of them are free, some of them are actually paid for. But if there's an app that I would suggest you go and download, it would be Procreate. That is probably one of my favorite apps on the iPad. If you did enjoy the video, press the red subscribe button and comment below what apps you use and some apps that you think I've missed, because I know that you guys have got really good eyes and you're very keen at telling me what things I've missed when it comes to like technology. So let me know. I'll be interested to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.